Beautiful. Well, it's a real pleasure. Thank you everyone for attending tonight. We really hope this Q&A session will be of interest to everyone. I think I realized today we've been doing the Q&A session for a year now. So all of the recordings are actually on the websites, both in the community pages on dutchtoolship.com and darwin200.com/info. So if you want to see the recording of the previous ones, they're all online. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all this evening. We're really, as Matthias was saying, we've got some really exciting talks today. We're really honoured to have Projects Abroad joining, because quite a few people put feedback that they wanted activities in the ports after obviously your arrival, before you start your voyages. So without further ado, I'll hand over, but it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the project leader of Darwin200 and managing the Darwin200 side of things. So absolute pleasure to welcome you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Shall I take over then? I'm Elvira. Hi. Maybe we have spoken on the phone or had some email contact. I work in the shipping office of the Oosterschelde. And I thought it would be good. We already received quite a few questions, so that we'll get to that at the end of the presentation. But if you have any along the way, you can either put them in the chat box or you can raise your hand like this, or also in the bottom of Zoom, you can raise your hands virtually. And then, well, please do ask questions. That's what we're here for. Maybe who will be the next? I don't know.
I'm Matthias, together with Elvira. Yeah, how can you forget me? Your own colleague. No, together with Elvira, I work at a shipping company with Gerben, who cannot make it tonight. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be working on such an amazing project, such an amazing circumnavigation. So, well, as Elvira said, if you have any questions, give us a call, or if you just want to talk through your voyage on board, we're happy to speak with you. And well, I think I have the honor to introduce another team member of the Darwin200 organization, the science coordinator. I'll ask Rolf to unmute himself, and I would love, well, welcome first of all.
Thank you, Matthias.
Could you tell?
Thank you, everybody.
Could you tell what your role is, who you are, how you became involved in the project?
Yes, with great pleasure. With great pleasure. I'm very happy to be here and to see who is actually involved already in this great project we're gonna do together. My name is Rolf Schreuder. I am from the Netherlands as well, and met Stuart maybe a year ago, and our paths crossed because well, I was involved also in previous Darwin projects and in all kinds of things concerning educational projects. So I'm sort of specialized in working with young people around societal or technological or science issues. So that will be my role as well in this project, to coordinate the activities of the Darwin leaders we are going to select in the different ports. They're going to carry out all kinds of researches you might have read. They're going to produce all kinds of materials, look into different topics in the ports concerning nature conservation. So we're going to produce at least 5 to 8 new projects in each port, and yeah, I will be on top of that. So I will guide the young people in their activities. I will try, of course, to help them with the right questions, with the right things to investigate, and we're going to help them produce the materials that you all and we all can read and see what they actually have produced. So we hope, of course, that they are going to be very innovative, very fresh thinking to new or old difficult problems we have to solve. So I did that in a Dutch national think tank to also challenge them to be bold, to be different, to try all kinds of things that that might not be seen as possible by current leaders, but to step ahead and drive innovation in this field as well. So I'm super excited to have this role, and I'm looking very much forward to meet you all more and to interact on all kinds of ideas we can produce together. Thank you.
Thank you, Rolf. And you'll be working closely together with another new face for most of you present. Philip, you will be the editor-in-chief. Could you, well, tell who you are and what you're planning to do during the circumnavigation?
Well, we only start, welcome to all, but we only started just yet. And we are planning on, well, there's a plan on having plenty of videos on this project. And I will be the editor-in-chief. My background is in television for the past 30 years in Holland, internationally, etc., documentaries. And we, Rolf and I, cooperate. Well, we coincide on several projects for the past years. And well, this is one of the biggest projects in the future. So we're very, well, on one hand, we're humble. On the other hand, we are thriving for more.
Thank you, Philippe. All right. Well, then I would give the word to Stu to introduce Ian and the project abroad. I think that is where we're at now.
Sure, yeah. Would you like me to put up my presentation now? Would that be a good start?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, let me just see that this is okay. I just need permission, but yeah, I'm Ian from Projects Abroad, and we're excited to be partnering with Darwin200. At the moment, it's saying I can't share. I don't know if
you should be able to do.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Can you see that?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Always worries me, the technology, but no, we've been in touch with Darwin200, and Projects Abroad are based in the UK. I'm based in Brighton, on the coast in Sussex, and we've been in touch with Darwin200 recently, and are excited to be able to do some of the land-based activities that tie in with the trip. So it's something that people can join after or before they join a leg of the trip. And the idea really this evening is just to give you a little bit of an outline of what we do and the sorts of things that you can do on the ground as well. I'm Ian, and I joined Projects Abroad as a volunteer in 1992 when I was very young, and you know, I went out as a volunteer, and we've sent over 130,000 people around the world on trips, on projects over the last 30 years, and we've got ongoing projects in over 20 different countries. And we're excited to tie in with Darwin200 in terms of some of the projects that you've got that are going on, so that it will give people an opportunity to see something of the place where they land. I mean, obviously there's the excitement of the trip on the ocean and everything like that, but also to get off at the other end and to be able to get some experience, some practical experience, or working on the ground, volunteering on the ground. And what we've looked at a number of different places in Peru, in Galapagos, and in Fiji, and some options, and I want to sort of talk through that. I was involved with setting up our Peru project about 20 years ago now, and it's proved a popular program with the people that we sent away since then. Obviously, we had a couple of years with COVID where we couldn't send so many people away, but we're excited that there's more and more people that are out joining programs, and that the Darwin200 team will be able to join some projects. The way Projects Abroad works is, as I say, we work in 20 countries. They're developing countries, and we've got a mix of different programs that are ongoing. And we really want to fit in with the local partners that are on the ground out there, the local people that are there in terms of the conservation projects, in terms of sort of education programs that are there. And I think there is a synergy between sort of what the young people that are going out on the Darwin program are doing and the interests of people that are joining the voyages are there. And what we want to do is really to give you that sort of opportunity to add something to your trip, whether it's before you join the voyage or afterwards. And the 4 places that, or the 4 projects that we've got that tie in with Darwin are obviously Galapagos, you know, synonymous with Darwin, and we've got some sort of exciting programs working out there in terms of the conservation side of things. Out in Fiji, we've had an ongoing conservation program which has been running for over 10 years alongside sort of education programs and working in local villages out there as well. And I think really the opportunity for you to join one of these programs is not just to do the touristy things. You know, obviously there's some great opportunity. You go to Fiji, there's lots of pictures of beaches and places to sit and some amazing hotels and things. But really with Projects Abroad, I think the thing is to get under the skin of the place a bit, to spend some time with the community, but also to do some practical work to help out. On the conservation project in the rainforest in Peru, in the Amazon rainforest, you know, there are opportunities to work alongside sort of local experts, local staff that are there, as well as discovering what goes on out in Peru. You know, the Inca remains that are there. I was involved with setting up the Peru project, and you know, quite often, you know, I'll get a phone call sort of saying, well, you've got to go to 20 countries, where shall I go? And you know, if people keep pushing me, you know, Peru is definitely one at the top of my list of places to go. There's so much to see, so much to do when you're over there. All of the projects that we run tie in with the Sustainable Development Goals. We realize that we're not the United Nations, we're not Oxfam, we're not Medicine Sans Frontiers, but the real reality of the people that join a program with Projects Abroad is that they can actually make a practical contribution, but also get an experience of a country that's a bit different. We're working at grassroots level with people that are on the ground that are really enthusiastic about what they do, but also passionate about it. And well, no picture of Galapagos could be there without the tortoises, and certainly that would be something that would be key to what you'd be doing when you're out there. We work with local guys on the ground that are passionate about them, and you know, you would be working alongside them on ongoing projects that are there. One of the things would be collecting the utoya, which is what they eat. There would be cleaning, you know, that would be going on. There are beach cleanups that go on. Unfortunately, although Galapagos itself has, you know, an amazing sort of way to sort of try and avoid any pollution and things like that, you know, being the beaches, you know, these things are washed up. We do beach cleanups. There are sea lion surveys that go on, bird surveys. There are planting projects. If you join a program, you'll be there for a week, and there'll be a real opportunity to get your hands dirty, get involved with things and see different things, but also to sort of, you know, to see what the place is about. On the Galapagos project, we're based on San Cristobal, And this is where you'd be doing the work with the sea lions, with the tortoises, with the invasive species, removing invasive species. But there would also be an opportunity to go off and visit the Charles Darwin Centre, to visit some of the other islands that are there as well. And just to sort of get a real overview of what's going on the island. William Puga, that runs our program out there, is one of those local guys that seems to know everybody. He's the one that sort of makes Projects Abroad work on the ground out in Galapagos, and he is so passionate about what we do. And I think the essential thing for Projects Abroad, although we always think we're the important ones based at head office in the UK, actually is the guys that are on the ground that are running those projects and making sure that what you'd be doing is worthwhile, but also sort of inspiring. Out in Fiji, we've got community projects, but we've also got conservation projects, reef marine conservation programs that are there, working with sharks. You would be doing snorkeling when you're out there, doing surveys of the reef, looking at the state of the reef that's there. Practical programs in terms of planting mangroves. You know, so you're on the beaches, but you're not sitting back sort of with a cocktail, but you're actually getting involved. And planted mangroves is a huge part of the marine conservation work that's there, as well as beach cleanups, as you can see in the sort of picture that's here. But you're also working in the community. And I think one of the key things of going into Fiji is there's so many people that go into Fiji and they stay on an all-inclusive resort and see some amazing beaches and see some amazing sort of fish and stuff like that, but actually don't get to meet the local community apart from the waiter that's at their, you know, at the hotel. We will be there to make sure you go out into the community village and actually see what's going on the ground. We partner with sort of local villages with local NGOs that are there, and you can actually get to see sort of, you know, how the place works. And I think that's quite important, that we're not going in as somebody saying, well, this is what we want to do, but actually what needs doing, what's there, you know, that's on the ground. So sort of Projects Abroad have volunteers out there all through the year, but when you're out there, you'd be able to make some contribution as well. Peru is the one that's sort of close to my heart, you know, having spent sort of lots of time out there. And you would be working in the Tarakaya Lodge. You fly into this place called Puerto Maldonado, which is on the edge of the rainforest. It's very much a frontier town. It's not a sort of place that you'll have lots of photos to take of, but you spend an hour on a boat and you're in the middle of the rainforest. You're on one of the tributaries of the Amazon, and you're working with a guy called Fernando alongside other staff. Fernando was brought up on the edge of the rainforest, and he's the guy that has apparently no qualifications in conservation or anything, but just knows everything. And he's the one that sort of makes it all tick. There's a canopy walkway up in the top of the rainforest where you can be observing the birds. There's a turtle project. The Madre de Dios River gets pretty flooded at times and washes away these turtles. We put these turtles into a safe area. There's an animal re-release program. It's one of the few animal re-release programs in South America and certainly in Peru, where we get animals that are from the equivalent of the RSPCA, that have been maybe monkeys that have been pets, things like that, birds. We even had a spectacled bear that had been sort of in one of these, you know, sort of zoo type sort of places, and we're actually aiming to re-release those back out into the wild. Now, you can't do it with every animal because often they become acclimatized to humans that are there, but you're really out in the rainforest, sort of working on the local projects that are there. alongside local people that are really passionate about what they do, but can also convey that onto you. So there will be opportunities to find out in the evenings and to find out what's going on. And Projects Abroad will organise that sort of during the week when you're out there. In Peru, you know, the highlight of Peru, or the place that so many people talk about, is Machu Picchu at the end of the Sacred Valley. We've got lots of projects in the Sacred Valley, and the Discovery Tour is really an opportunity to explore that part of Peru. You'll be working within the community, meeting local people, do some archaeology work, but also getting an opportunity to go into the markets, go into some of these Inca sites and sort of explore what they're like. You fly into Cusco, in between the mountains up in it's about an hour's flight from Lima, where the boat will dock, and you fly up to Cusco, and then you'll be living alongside sort of local people on the ground there, but a real sort of whistle-stop tour to see lots of different places that are there when you're there. Cusco itself, where you fly to, is a real highlight. You know, there's an amazing cathedral, amazing plaza that's there, but it's not just the sort of touristy bits. You know, you will be going out into the community and meeting local people when you're there. So those are the 4 trips that we've run. These are the costs and the dates that so hopefully they will tie in with one of the legs that you're sort of traveling on. What Projects Abroad will organize is from picking you up, from, you know, is the transportation, but the food and drink, the accommodation, everything is organized. It basically gives you that week where you know, you've got a fairly busy agenda of the different sorts of things that are going on. That really is a sort of whistle-stop tour of what sorts of things we do. We do have a sort of, you know, we have a lot of support on the ground. The people that make Projects Abroad work are really the staff that we've got, and most of those are local staff. We aim to make an impact on the community, but also I think, you know, there's a real impact on the people that join us. So I've gone through that, and you know, I know we'll send you through sort of more information where you can click onto more details of the exact sort of schedules and things like that. But if anybody's got any questions at this stage or later on, you know, please let me know. I hope that helps, Matthias.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're incredibly happy to be partnering up with you on on this project, during this project, and to all sailors who are interested in joining one of these tours, we will send an email this coming week or the week after that, when we have installed all tours on our website and stuff, when everything is installed.
Thanks very much.
We've come to the point that we are addressing all questions. Elvira, did you keep track on what we received per email?
Yeah, there was
Start with these.
There was a few questions in our mailbox. I think the biggest question that we get now is about a packing list. So. And especially, I think the people who are joining us in the Southern Ocean are wondering what to bring and how to prepare. With your booking confirmation, you also received a general information booklet. It isn't a list, bring 6 pairs of socks or 8 pairs of this, but it is more of an overview on stuff you could bring. And the biggest thing that we always say is try to keep a sturdy, bring a sturdy outer waterproof layer, and underneath work with layers. especially in the Southern Ocean, it is cold. It can be cold, and if you get wet, you will get even colder. So you have to work with layers. Merino wool is a real well, good tip, because it doesn't smell that quickly. Also for socks, it's very handy, and it's warm and dry. So to work with layers, to bring merino wool, but also in the general information booklet there will be there's explanation on clothes. I think shoes are on the trips that are not in the tropical areas. We advise to bring also boots that are watertight, and shoes that have a sole that is not that how do you say that? Not that it has to be able to move a little bit, because then you have grip on deck. And also if you want to get up in the rigging, it's good that your soles are not that hard or sturdy, that they move a bit. So like walking shoes that are perfect for hiking are not that suitable to wear on board the ship. So that is the first point. And there are questions about more land-based tours on the places that we visit. Well, we have now projects abroad that have a few places that where they organize something. The question is now for Easter Island. At the moment, we don't have a land-based program there yet, or not a partner yet. We're looking for them, but if you find a good operator that seems to offer a good trip, please let us know, because it's for us also a new adventure. We haven't been there before, so any information is welcome, and please share that in the community, that so everyone can read it. Same goes for the Azores. I don't think we will be organizing a land-based tour there, because it's a very touristy place anyway, so there will be lots to explore by yourself. And Stuart, I have a question about Ascension Island. I know it's still far away, but the question is when we know if and how the land-based tour will look like.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So basically, the situation is with this. The flights are about to restart. So the runway on Ascension Island was being repaired for the last 2 years. It's about to reopen in the next year. Then we'll know the flight schedule. There's no problem setting up land-based tour. I've got it all ready and all organized, like we've already done in the Falkland Islands and St. Helena. And a big warm welcome. I recognize a few of the names of people joining tonight that have already signed up for those land-based tours. So yeah, those are all ready and organized. We will be doing the same in Ascension Island, but there's no point doing it until we know the flight schedules. So we've just got to hold off in a little bit. I mean, it's 2 years away anyway, so we've got loads and loads of time. But the flights should be confirmed once the runway is back up and running properly. At the moment, there's quite irregular flights there. I think every 2 weeks, but they'll be back to their regular schedule of 2 a week once the airport is up and running. So we'll then finalize the Ascension land-based tour. For those that are interested, I know we've had a lot of emails concerned from people that are interested in it. Ascension Island is awesome. It's a bit of an unusual place because it's a military base. It's a UK overseas territory, but it's basically licensed to the Americans that have a big base there. I honestly think it's one of my favorite islands in the world. I filmed a series there for the BBC, one of the episodes there. And it's just such a raw destination. It's so untamed. It has one of the world's biggest green turtle breeding populations. We'll be going on this voyage. We'll be going there. Most of the adults will have already nested, but the babies will be hatching. So we'll be in a really good hatching time. And the conservationists will take us up to the beaches with red headlights to see the hatchlings. And we saw literally thousands each night. It's incredible. There's a massive land crab population. We are actually there when there could be a migration. It's a bit of potluck, but definitely we'll see the crabs. But if we're lucky, we might see them actually migrate down to the water to release their eggs. There's really big seabird colonies, including sooty terns, moss boobies, brown boobies, and unique Ascension Island frigate birds that occur nowhere else in the world, which is pretty cool. And there's the famous experiment by Charles Darwin. Basically, the island is a cinder cone, dry volcano. And after Darwin's voyage, Darwin visited, of course, but years later, him and Joseph Hooker developed a plan to send thousands of plants, and they planted them on the tallest cinder cone and made the world's first and only totally artificial ecosystem. And today, it's incredible. When you go there, you go up 3 layers of vegetation, like dry, spiny forest, then lush rainforest, then cloud forest at the top. So honestly, if you're going to Ascension Island, there's so much to see there, and don't miss out, because it is an incredible place. So on the going back to land-based tour, so those that want to do it, just keep it in the back of your mind. We will do it. You can't book your flights anyway yet, because the flight schedules aren't confirmed for that far ahead. So just keep it in the back of your mind. We will get it done, but there's no point doing it until the flight schedules are confirmed, because obviously we'll adjust the itinerary of the land-based tour specifically around the flights. So once they're confirmed, we'll get that one sorted. So hope that helps answer that question.
Thank you, Stu.
Pleasure.
Will there be research done while sailing, and can we join in? Maybe a
Yes,
question for Stu and a bit for Rolf, I'm not sure.
Yes, absolutely. And we're absolutely privileged to say we've actually had a partner come on board this week sponsoring one of the 2 places. So we've ring-fenced 2 places on every single voyage leg for researchers. One of the researchers we're going to manage in-house, that's going to be doing a whale and dolphin survey and a seabird survey. So anyone, particularly on watches, would be not just warmly welcome, but really, really useful if you can be involved in that. So spotting and logging different species of seabirds and whales and dolphins. And particularly for remote stretches of the big oceans, like the Pacific and the remote parts of the South Atlantic. We actually know relatively little about lots of the cetaceans, the whales and dolphins in some of those areas, particularly the deep water diving whales, like the beaked whales. So we're hoping to try and record a really good survey right the way around the voyage itinerary of the species we see, both of whales and dolphins and porpoises and of seabirds. Then separately from that, as I mentioned, we're thrilled to have a partner come on board this week to sponsor different projects that they're going to manage and design and fund, but putting on the young researchers, one on each voyage leg on the second research place. So a big yes. We will do a Q&A talk specifically about this, but it'll be a few months away. So we'll probably do it May, if that's okay, May or June, specifically on the research projects and how you can be involved if you would like to be. So big thank you for that one.
Good, thank you, Stuart. There's a question about laundry on board. Well, what we always ask, if you're on like a 10-day trip, bring enough stuff so you don't need to do any laundry. But of course, on the longer legs, when we cross an ocean, it's impossible to bring that much clothing. So there is a laundry machine on board. If the weather is not too crazy, we can actually use it as well, because it of course has to be steady a bit to use it. So it is possible. What we ask is to bring a sort of laundry bag where you can put your stuff in, or mark your clothes, so you know that some stuff is yours. And keep in mind that it all will go into a dryer, so that it is clothing that can be put in a dryer. That's important, but you can do the laundry. The crew will ask you to put it all in a laundry basket, and then they will wash it for you, and then you can pick it up later. So yeah, easy peasy, I would say. And then a question for Matthias, I think. Which legs still have vacancy?
Ooh, that depends on
which of the 32 legs?
The best overview is our website, DutchStoryship.com. Elvira and myself try to update the labels on each voyage. Steve or Zoe, in which leg would you be interested? Because then I will help you right away.
Oh, you have to unmute.
Oh, I have to unmute. Hey.
Hi. Anywhere in sort of, or I guess after Tahiti. We're looking at like at the couple of months after Tahiti. Our timing is getting complicated for our leg. We think we can still do it, but we're looking at options.
Is the little one joining as well?
I keep saying so, yes, but Zoe's pretty convinced that we can't climb everything with him. But
we have family in Australia that we're gonna burden him.
Yeah,
with.
We're
Nice.
made a drop off in Australia for a week or two, and but I'm gonna show him off.
Yeah, ideally the Tahiti round trip would be the best timing for us, but any of the legs sort of just after, sort of, I guess, after Tahiti, before New Zealand would be great.
Only only on the leg from Fiji to New Zealand we have a cabin that is now professionally reserved, so that cabin might open up, but for the rest the entire Pacific, or at least after Tahiti, is fully booked. So
I know that you have us on the wait list for the Tahiti round. Is it a long wait list?
That's very difficult, because what we do is, of course, we make a wait list, but we don't mix men and women. So if a woman in a 4-person cabin drops out, then you can be as a male be first on the wait list, but we will move on to the first single traveling female. So the position on the wait list is not really solid, or it's a bit difficult to give you an indication. But we have seen shifts, and there are still people, unfortunately, but changing their travel plans or asking to move to another voyage, for example. So fingers crossed, and we will inform you. We will bring you the good news once we have a cabin available somewhere.
Awesome. Otherwise, he'll be like a year and a half old by that point, so I can just strap him to my chest the whole time.
From my own experience, I know that it is perfect to you can start sailing on Oosterschelde when you're a baby. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Matthias, I think your first trip was in your mom's belly, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
you know how it is.
So it's no problem at all. I wasn't that fortunate to be sailing in the Pacific though, but no.
Exactly. We don't exactly have open ocean around here, but we've got a small laser that we can take them on out on the lake, and
do some practice.
Skiing and sailing before then. Yeah, it'd be good.
We're looking forward to welcoming him on board.
Thanks.
I have not so much a question, but a tip from Carter. I think he was on Easter Island, and he says the island is very small. It's only 40 kilometers long, so it's easy to do by renting a car yourself and have a look around. So and I can imagine there are also operators there offering day trips and excursions. So it's worth looking into that. Are there limits on the number of participants for the land-based opportunities such that they might get full? I think a question for Ian and for Stuart.
I mean, I think the groups that we would have, I mean, we would be flexible. I mean, if there was large numbers on a trip, we might split them into sort of smaller groups, obviously, sort of, you know, on the activities. But I don't think there would be a huge problem in terms of capacity. No, I don't think that would be a problem.
Okay, good.
On the two that I'm running currently, the St. Helena one and the Auckland Island one, it's not so much that there's a limit from our side or anything. It's just that the Falkland Island has such unbelievably limited accommodation on the islands. So whenever anyone, about 12 people have signed up for them in 2024, I've managed to organize itineraries for all of those people. But it's amazing, like many of the island lodges where we're going to only have 10 beds, or or sorry, 10 places. Some of those are double beds. So if you, particularly the Falklands, if you want to do Falkland add-on tour in 2024, please let me know as soon as possible, because many of the islands are already completely full. Luckily, there's about 5, so there's different permutations we can work with. But yeah, normally the Falklands gets totally fully booked a year ahead, so it's kind of a miracle that there's any places anyway. But there are so far. We managed to get them for everyone so far. But if you want to do it, yeah, please let us know as soon as possible, and I'll do everything I can to help.
Thank you. And then a question if there's a land-based activity in Cape Verde. Yes, there is. The ship has just departed, I think, 3 days ago from Cape Verde. We have spent there another winter season, so we have some experience in the area. So what we want to organize is a land-based tour on the island of Santa Antão. It's a beautiful, it's a one-day trip though, but you can easily spend a week on the islands, exploring, doing hikes, spend a day on the beach. So there's enough stuff to do by yourself, but we think you have to do the walk on Santa Antão. It's we will bring you up to the crater of a volcano, and it will be an amazing view. If the weather is a bit clear, you can look straight to the ocean, and it's a beautiful green walk down the volcano. So it's a lovely walk. We have the itinerary set for it. I have to put it up on our website, and I will also send out an email to everyone on the trip to Cape Verde and from Cape Verde. So you will all get an email with information on what it exactly entails and the price for it, or the rate, what it will cost. So I think it will be within the next 2 weeks, you will have that in your mailbox. And I wanted to add something about the clothing. You don't need to buy the most expensive sailing gear because it's really expensive. If you already have it, it's perfect. You don't need to buy it. If you want to buy it, you're welcome, of course. But a sturdy outer waterproof layer should be sufficient. So that is that I wanted to add. Okay. Are there any more questions that I did not answer yet? Or that we didn't get to? Is someone, because I thought it would be at least good to tell you that the ship, how the ship is doing, might be nice. Like I said, the ship is now on its way from Cape Verde on back to Europe. So within 11 days, the ship will arrive on the Azores, on the island Faial in Horta. And then we have a crew change. People will step off the ship and a few people will embark again. And then on the 27th of April, the ship will be back in the Netherlands for a short while, doing a few trips in Europe. And then at the beginning of July, we will stop sailing at all to prepare for 1 month for the big departure. So we have busy times collecting all the stuff that needs to come on board, all the orders from the ship. So it is really exciting.
Yeah, last week I ordered 17 new flags for the countries we haven't been to, but the Oosterschelde has like the deck of het kotje, yeah, what is it?
The wheelhouse.
The wheelhouse is filled for the ones who have been on board. It's filled with a national flag. So collecting 17 more is a big achievement, I would say. Well, not necessarily new flags. 10 of them were new, but yeah, it was nice. That was something nice that we are going to an area we haven't been, and since 1992 we have been in a lot of areas.
That's nice. And I have another question, something to maybe think about a little bit and then get back to us. We are working together with a PR company that helps us, get in touch with newspapers, with news channels and stuff, and they are looking for inspiring people that have booked on the voyage legs. So if you think, oh, I have a special reason to join. Everyone, I think, has a special reason to join. But if you're up for it and you are open for maybe an interview by a newspaper or on the radio, or then please let us know, because it's really nice to hear from the people themselves why they book on a certain leg, what their goal is, or what they want to achieve, or where they're from, because we have people, well, from all over the world. So, and we'll be visiting a lot of places all over the world. So we hope there will be media interest from all over the world. So if you're open to that, send us a quick email. We will probably reach out to you as well to double check. But I thought it would be good to already announce it.
Anneke has another question of what we already can tell about the arrival in Plymouth and the departure and the departure party all in once. Perhaps Stu could elaborate on that?
Yes, absolutely. So we'll be sending details around this shortly. We're just finalizing a location. We were planning quite a nice celebration as the ship leaves and as it returns back. Even if you're not coming on leg one, you're very, very welcome to join the send-off party. And likewise, even if you're not on the final leg, but would like to welcome the last leg back, we're going to be doing likewise in Falmouth. So the departure party will be in Falmouth. I'm actually going down there next week to look at some venues and hopefully settle on one and get that finalized. The night before the voyage, we're planning a nice event with drinks and food and music and so forth before the ship leaves. And then obviously the departure of the ship the next day will mark the very start of the voyage. If you can join us, it would be an absolute pleasure.
Okay, Stuart, there's a question. I sent an email inquiry by mail about St. Helena add-on trip.
Oh, yes.
sales@redfernadventures.com 3 weeks ago, but no reply so far.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I must have missed it.
Problem, or just busy? I hope it's not full yet. Thanks, Rihanna.
No, I'm so sorry, I must have missed that one. If you could resend it. We've got about 12 people booked on the St. Helena trip so far. I must have accidentally missed it, or maybe it didn't come through. If you can send it, I'll do it tonight. Sorry about that.
Okie doke. Any more questions or stuff to add? I don't think so. Well, then I hope to see you all next month.